Zimbabwe Finance Minister Mthuli Ncube says the country has appealed to the world leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos to end sanctions on the country as it battles to access money from the credit markets. Our business editor Xolani Mbanjwa caught up with Ncube in Davos and also asked him about the elections later this year. Take a look.
Newzroom Afrika continues to bring you live coverage here in Davos, Switzerland from the World Economic Forum, and we're catching up with a number of leaders from the African continent. Joining me right now is Mr. Mthuli Ncube, the Finance Minister in the Republic of Zimbabwe. Mr. Ncube, thank you very much for joining us here on Newzroom Afrika.
Thank you, Xolani.
Minister, let's talk about the importance of being here for our neighbors in South Africa, Zimbabwe. You are leading the Zimbabwean delegation. What have you gleaned thus far, and the message that you are bringing here from your home country?
Basically, the message from Zimbabwe to the world is Zimbabwe is open for business. And it's open for business in all areas, whether looking at the mining sector. We have great opportunities for investment in lithium, in platinum, in coal, in iron ore, you name it. We have the top 40 valuable minerals in the world. We're open for opportunities in agriculture and agro-processing, in infrastructure development in terms of investment in renewables, solar energy, mini hydro, and so forth. I could go on, but there are opportunities everywhere, manufacturing and so forth. We are open for business. But also, we're realizing that our challenges are not different from what we are experiencing here with other countries, what they tell us. They too have inflation challenges, they have challenges with migration, challenges with volatile currencies, they have challenges generally with the impact of the global tensions. So we're in this together. But Zimbabwe is open for business because we believe we have the best opportunities.
Let's talk about what you hope to achieve from the engagements that you've had here thus far with world leaders and other investors. Who have you met, and what are the achievements that you've had since the start of the World Economic Forum?
While we're here, we've met with political leaders, for example, from Holland, from here in Switzerland. We've also met with various business people right across the board in the technology space, in the pharmaceuticals space, but also those investing in renewable energy. And all are very keen to come to Zimbabwe to explore opportunities. So we're very pleased with the outcome so far.
Let's talk about something that has been there for a while, and these are sanctions that are still imposed on a country like Zimbabwe. In spite of the elections having been deemed free and fair in the past by international bodies, sanctions are still there in Zimbabwe. How detrimental are these sanctions to the country of Zimbabwe, and what are you telling international leaders about having these sanctions lifted?
Well, the impact of sanctions on Zimbabwe, if I can think of one critical area, is that of access to credit abroad. Our banks being unable to access credit easily from abroad, that is a key issue. And this credit is really for investment in the private sector. So in a way, it also stifles investment. So we don't get as much credit as we expect. I recall that when these were imposed, Zimbabwe lost about 80 different lines of credit and banking relationships right across the world. So that has been the impact. And really, the sooner this could be ameliorated, could be removed, the better for the economy and the better for the world, because Zimbabwe is key to be a key player in the world. We're a source of lithium. The world needs the lithium batteries going forward. So we're a source of many things, and we want Zimbabwe to interact freely with everybody in the sense that the investors then can access capital right across the board without restrictions.
But let's talk about the reasons these sanctions are still there. Obviously, international leaders want Zimbabwean leaders like yourselves to follow certain protocols and do something for them to lift these. What is it that they really want the Zimbabwean leadership to do before they lift the sanctions?
I mean, largely, these sanctions were imposed when Zimbabwe embarked on a fast-track land reform program. I think it was felt globally that this was impacting the state of property rights and so forth. So then these sanctions were imposed. But I'm happy to say that we've made progress as Zimbabwe in trying to put that behind us. We've agreed a deal with the former farmers to pay them $3.5 billion over the next 10 years. We'll be paying the first 10% in the first 3 years. We've issued, basically, we're going to be issuing a 1% coupon bond in the process. So we're busy trying to deal with this and putting this behind us. At the same time, we're strengthening our 99-year lease, improving its character in terms of property rights, make sure that this lease is bankable, it is valorizable, and it is transferable. So we've made a lot of progress in dealing with issues around the land question in Zimbabwe. And besides, agriculture in Zimbabwe is back. Last year we had the bumper harvest for wheat. We had the highest levels of production for wheat literally in 50 years. And in 2021, again, we had the bumper harvest in terms of other grains, maize, and so forth. And this year is quite promising. So agriculture in Zimbabwe is beginning to do well. We have moved on. We are moving on. And we're keen to put these things behind us.
Mr. Ncube, my last question to you is forward-looking at the elections in Zimbabwe. There are a number of Zimbabweans in the diaspora who want to go back home and actually cast their ballots. How do you make sure that you encourage them to come forward, to come and make sure that they do that, those that are in the diaspora, and make sure that really the elections are free and fair?
The government has encouraged everyone who wants to vote to register. That is normal. Whether they are living within Zimbabwe, whether in the diaspora, they can register freely. There's no problem at all. All they need is their ID card at the end of the day, and they can register and be free to cast their vote. The government has also been preaching free and fair and peaceful elections, and we expect peaceful elections as citizens go about exercising this right.
Minister of Finance in Zimbabwe, Mr. Mthuli Ncube, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. You heard it from the Minister in Zimbabwe saying that the country is open for business and they are working hard to attract investors and also Zimbabweans in the diaspora to come and cast their votes in their next elections that will be held later this year. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I am Xolani Mbanjwa in Davos, Switzerland.